I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Yeah, I know my production value ain't much, is it? But anyway, I'm a real kind of a guy. Let's look at this 1963 shop manual. There really wasn't much of a change for 64. And here is, I don't know how many of you might or might not have this book. What are the credits on this thing? August 62 Pontiac Motor Division. So, I saw Vice Grip Garage where he got that 71 Riviera and he got the shop manual. Man, that's worth more than the car. So cool. But anyway, maybe not. Okay, so let's talk about numbers. There's your, I know there are websites about this, but this is out of the book. So there you go. That gives you that explanation. I don't think I'm in any copyright errors here. Complaints. But for those of you who don't have this book, this is pretty cool. And I'll show you where the numbers are, and then you go right into it. And there's a little bit about the key codes, which I thought was pretty interesting. There's copper, nickel, black, yellow, whatever you want, depth sets and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty interesting about the keys. And you remember Ford's went in one way up and the other ones went down or something. This is a very interesting book. And what I do is I usually make notes and then I can't do that. Well, I guess I can do that. So here's the torque wrench specs. And we'll go over the ones that I called out of here that I'm going to be using. But when you're talking between 10 and 20 pound feet and 30 and 45, you got quite the variance there. So I guess it's leaving it all up to you, more or less. And they've got just about everything you ever wanted to know here. But 15 pound variance from 35 is really something. Some of the books I deal with, the Haynes manuals, for instance, they pretty much just give you one number. God bless them. But this, I don't know if this is all. It's a guide, and whatever you want to do past that point, you may do. So I don't think I heard anything there. All right, let's go down to the shop and start on this project. Okay. Today we're going to talk about Bonbon here and her numbers and whatnot. There is the tag. This is where you find it with whatever information you can find. It's at the right cowling at the back there. Open the bonnet and you can see it right behind the bonnet if it was there. And I want to tell you what's on this vehicle. I find it to be kind of interesting. I wish I had comments I could enable, but I cannot. So just a little something I ran into, and I wanted to go over it with you. So this is a pretty special car, and if it helps you find your numbers and understand what's going on, all the better. Simply because it's not very plain. I had to go on GM sites and whatnot to figure out what's going on here. So this is my car. It is a 1964, 2867, which means convertible, BL5134. It's a 264-1, which means Yorktown with parchment interior and all that other stuff. And here are the accessory codes. A31 C11 C60 and U75, body by Fisher 24. There's my motor numbers, and it's an 88 4L with a 5-digit number starting with an 8. I've been warned over and over and over not to show that. So the things that we have now, this, forget about this. This is, I have to do this because I'm putting a new motor in it, or rebuilt motor. So we've got, I almost don't know where to begin. We have a speaker switch. Well, that speaker controls the speaker in the back. There is a speaker in there and it does work. So you got that going for you. you've got electric windows on a 64. You have factory air conditioning. Some of it is still in place, although I have a vintage air in it. There's the vintage air controls. Here's the thermostat control, which I used to love when I was a little boy. And that controls the blower motor. But this thing here, when you want, let's see if I can get the glare out of it. When you want to be warmer, see, it goes over to warm. I remember watching my mother do that. And so I leave it cool, because just seeing that makes me hot, and it's already 90 degrees in here. So she has a clock that works. She has the AM FM radio with the buttons that you see. You can hit this button, and a lot of people don't know this anymore, but you can pull out and then push back in, and it'll key into that. And so anyway, that doesn't work, but it is there. Has 2-speed wipers and washer. It has the 400 gearbox in it, and it's got the reverse at the end of the throw. Now it's showing kind of in gear because the gearbox is down. She has the electric antenna. She has the top that I've gone through the motor and put new transmission fluid in and sucked the moisture and everything else out of it. It has the boot release right here. If the car was on, that works on vacuum, and it has lights in there. It has lights up in the ash tray, the cigar tray. There you can see, I think those are original speakers there, I'm not sure. She has fresh air only on this side. She has a mirror that you can remotely control down here. Now, my understanding is that, there you go, that's better. That mirror over there, we'll get out in a second. Let's see, we've got rear speakers, vacuum release, power antenna, clock. Padded dash is something that I saw as an accessory. The dash is right there with the speaker in it. Since I'm doing work, I've just left that out. And it has the lamps in the back for courtesy lamps down here that I believe are common. I don't believe that's an option, but it does have the little switch right here where you can turn them on and off. And I would run LEDs in those so you won't burn up your lenses. So what we got is parchment Yorktown blue. So A31 is power windows, C11 is power top, C60 is air conditioning, and U75 is AM FM push button radio. So I'm going to take all that back up and do what I can with it. And then she has the working side vent windows, which was common back then. Sun visors, which I believe were common back then. And the grab bar now on Fords, on T-Birds of this era, that is a really big deal. On this car, I believe they all came with a grab bar. I don't think I've ever used it to get out of the car. But anyway, that's what we got there. I know that big black thing's ugly, but I have something in the boot that's even more ugly. And some of you have seen this before. But let's go up here. She's got enough room for a gigantic battery. So let me put these papers over here because I got to take them back up and I'm going to redo them. So there's what she looks like. The bonnet's over on the other side. There's the air conditioner compressor, the 2-speed thing. Now I put tandem brakes on it. It came with single brakes. It's not hard to do that. I would go on the interwebs there and do this. I would split that up. I think the front is the rear is the front in this particular case. You'll run into that a lot. The front tank controls the drum brakes in the back, and the rear tank controls if you have disc or drum. This is 4-wheel drum, which I'm fine with. It does great. And I don't see there's much else going on here in the engine bay. Power steering, of course. I don't think you could control this thing without power steering. So let's go back here. I did get the keys. Let's see, did I get the keys? I believe I did. There they are. Now, Here's the cowling that I took off. If you're going to take the dashboard out, you have to take the side little markers off. Oh, I hope there's no mice in here. Sometimes there are mice in here. So we're probably not going to close this. But this would be, in this case, that key. I'll tell you another little thing I did too. And there's your LED light. If you're missing letters on the side and you can't find them, or they're on back order through whoever you're finding them through, I believe Ames. Well, let's put those there for now since we're talking. When I got this car, I was missing some letters, and I took other letters off and cast them in wax. And then you can pour JB Weld in there, and after they're cured, of course, and you can make your own letters. You can duplicate your letters, which I had to do back then. I didn't have a choice. And here's this thing is factory and went under the dash. I used to call this frosty balls. So if you want this, my dad used to complain all the time about that thing. He used to have to tape them off because they hit you right in the crotch. And in case you're wondering, she's an award winner. The 5th Annual Labor Day Parade, organized labor, September of '88 in Moline. So that's a little provenance that I found in the dashboard, along with the Seattle 1960, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was, World's Fair pen that had liquid in it. I still have it. It was in the dashboard too, and it has a little picture of the monorail on it and all that other stuff. So there's the original radiator, which you got to, if you're lucky enough to have, and if you don't want to put $600 in it, you just get an aftermarket one, which is fine. I'll tell you this too. Look at that. There's the original sticker. My guess is, now here's the original jack and all. And ooh, I hope there's no mice under here. Might be. Nope. There's, I don't know if that's the original all season white wall with the original hold downs. And this has the cardboard. I believe that's original too. So I don't even remember what this is. Oh, that's a distributor cap in case something goes wrong. This is my little parts bin. It's the National Motorola Communications thing. So I'll tell you something here. I had a dead drain in this car I couldn't find for the longest time, and it was a trunk light. The trunk light switch was bad, and the way I found that out was I took the interior out of the car and I hooked up the battery, and with the boot down, the trunk lid down, I saw the light was on, and that answered that question. I looked for that for a while, and then I just put a cutoff on it, which I still continue to do. And but anyway, there that is. She's kind of been beat up a little bit. I've got LED lights in here. Here's your bent power antenna. To heck with that, you know. And so, got to remember where my keys are. I think these wheel covers are 1 year off, although I like them. I've been told that several times by some experts who drive by and tell me how foolish I am, which is almost daily. And they're right. Okay, so this is her. She has the tinted glass, which I believe is an option. And I understand this to be the biggie. This right here is the big option. The dealer installed right mirror of that era, that vintage, I'm trying to say. And I understand there's a lot of GTO guys that would like to have that. Look at it. It even sounds American, doesn't it? Ring and ding. And don't think I need to worry about the oil change thing. But everything on her works. The only thing that I don't like working is the automatic release for the boot because of all the vacuum lines, and I'm more interested in the engine running well instead of having a vacuum leak. But I rebuilt these door panels from scratch. I went to Mary Jo's in Gastonia, and I got some hardboard and some cloth a long time ago and recovered these. Found all kind of cigarette burns. Replaced the carpet. If you want to get the smell out of your car, you're going to have to pull it all out and put these things in some that ionizer thing and get all the smell out of the horsehair and whatever other things are down under there, and you're going to have to replace the carpet. I had a heck of a time getting this carpet because this is a funky year. 64 is a really, really funky year. But I got hold of some woman somewhere, I can't remember, years ago, and she said, well, it's the same thing as whatever, but, you know, the bodies are basically the same, you know, on a lot of these, of this era. So let's disconnect the battery because I have decided that I'm just not going to let her sit here and just possibly get some kind of dead short somewhere in it and have a problem. I do that to all the cars, even my unicycle. I used to ride a unicycle. So until my one friend broke a shoulder, the other friend broke a wrist, all in about 3 days. And I went, I don't think I want to ride unicycle anymore. So I didn't. You know, once you do it, it's like anything else. Once you do it, you know, you don't want to do it. Okay, so I've got a brand new rebuilt, the original motor that is, see how glowy I am? I'm not going to make it out here long. I'm going to try to do some work on this today and at least seal up the underside. So I've got my stuff. I've got this fuel-resistant dressing for the heads. I have learned that since the heads have been shaved, they're under that towel. You know, your intake manifold won't fit right. That means the gaskets that go across the front and back walls will crush and not work and leak later. So we've seen that from various people, including Derek from Vice Grip Garage and all the other stuff. So just sort of a run around of what I got. I would love to hear from you, but I can't. A vile hack on my channel that I've had for many, many years. And I'm very, very sad to have lost stuff about putting a starter in an LS400, putting a heater core in a Chevy truck. I'm very, very sad about losing that. Well, I'm going to give her just a little bit of a bath and take her on a road test. She's in previous videos, but I believe the birds have stopped attacking me. It's like, you know, maybe that's going to be it for them trying to nest for the season, and I don't have to worry about the birds so much anymore. Please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe and share, and you know, help me out if you can get other people to subscribe and build me up, Buttercup. I sure would appreciate it. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye. I got something to say here about this little baby here, the 4364. I put one of them in here in this car, and let me tell you, I think it ran 10 degrees cooler. I'm stunned about that. So yeah, I guess it works. It just seems to run cooler and better. Got to give them credit. You know, Mr. Gasket's a lot like 3M. You know, generally they can be trusted, and over long periods of time. So, good job, Mr. Gasket. Well, let's go into this thing. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I thought since I mentioned it, I would bring it up. There's me making this particular video. This is that pencil I found in the dashboard of the Bonneville. See, it says, I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, I can. It says Seattle World's Fair 1962. And there, you see, it's got glycerin in there or something. And this is a pencil. And as you can see, it's the old tree trunk kind. And so the pencil still writes from 1962. I'd give anything if I could show this a little better. I'm going to try to do this. But behind the glycerin, and there she is right there, there's the skyline with the Space Needle. Do you see the Space Needle right here? That was the year that she went in. I had lunch there one time when I was a small boy. And then the skyline of Seattle, and then this thing you see in the foreground is the monorail. So just kind of fun. I like having stuff like that. Doesn't really matter in the long run, but look at that. It's kind of bent. It's been through some heat over the years. But that's her, and she goes over here with my 110-year-old Thomas Alva Edison cylinders and stuff like that. So anyway, that's kind of the thing I do. This is some other stuff that I have. Some of you may remember Aurora. This is an ice cream truck, slot car, never been out of the box. There's my hop-up kit. Boy, there's nothing destroyed more Aurora slot cars than that thing. Telling you to cut out the back of the body. Boy, just many hundreds of thousands. I guess that makes them. I have the Mako Shark somewhere in a box, and that was the 1963 Buick Riviera. I got a couple of those. So anyway, there's a 240Z Can-Am racer, the old Elf racer. So yeah, I like my old stuff, and my old camera from, golly, hundreds of years ago. Seems like there's a Canon from the 80s. So that thing right there is a story in and of itself with the little secret latches and all. Okay, let's get going. You get going. Subscribe. See ya. Bye-bye.